Dustin Hayes from Red, White, and Badass Brew is in the studio.
But first, most companies waste a lot of money on marketing. The reason why is because they don't have a clear message. And you can have a website, you can have your social media, you can have advertising. But if you don't have a clear, easy to understand message, you're going to lose customers. Well, Sage Tree gets it. Since 2005, Sage Tree has been helping companies with their websites and marketing. Contact them today and learn about their secret sauce to help you and get more ROI. That's return on investment from your marketing dollars. Go to sagetree.com. Tell them you heard it right here on Gun Owners Radio and learn a whole lot more. All right, in studio, Dustin Hayes from Red, White, and Badass Brew.
Welcome, Dustin. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. How about yourself?
Doing great. Thanks for having us, and thanks for coming today.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's my pleasure, and thank you for having me on.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about Red, White, and Badass Brew? What do you do exactly?
So I brew coffee. So I have whole beans and grounded coffee, and sell them in 12-ounce and 5-pound bags. And I have whole different roasts, 10 different roasts right now. I got a couple coming out, new ones coming out next year. But I'm your local neighborhood caffeine dealer.
So did you just wake up one day and want to be a coffee guy, or how did you get into this?
I got into it just kind of by chance. So I started brewing myself, or roasting myself, just for me.
Most people brew beer.
Right.
This guy brews coffee. He must have had a bad experience
He
at
needs
Starbucks.
the strong stuff.
Yeah, right. Starbucks, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. There's got to be something better than this.
Right. That's an ugly word, you know. Nobody likes it. And you have a Starbucks cup.
I do have a Starbucks cup here. I'm sorry.
I
You
won't
didn't
go.
give me a cup yet. I'm
I
sorry.
don't go near the place. I don't go near it.
I'm sorry. But
So,
no,
yeah, so what did get you going on coffee?
Well, so I'm passionate about veterans and helping veterans. And not only veterans, but our first responders too. So I was just I've had about 4 businesses now. So I'm not new to owning a business.
entrepreneur.
Yeah, I've got about 2 more I'm going to do after I get this thing up and running. So anyway, I just started. I had one business. I had some medical issues where I couldn't continue in that business. Well, not that I couldn't continue, but it was advised that I probably shouldn't. So while I was down, I was just Googling and researching and was doing my research because I couldn't do anything else. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to jump feet first in this coffee business, and I'm going to go and give it a swing. And yeah, so I just did my research while I was down, and I was like, all right, I'm going to make up a coffee business. And so been doing that for about 5-6 months now, and it's pretty good. It's fun.
And Dustin, you're a veteran yourself, correct?
I am.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And one of the topics that we wanted to talk to you about today is, for people that aren't aware, PTSD and veteran suicide is something that's very, very predominant in today's society, correct?
That's correct.
Can you explain the issue a little bit more to our listeners, please?
Well, PTSD, it's the invisible wound. You know, you don't. It's not like you're missing an arm or a leg. You don't really see it. You can't see it. And matter of fact, you pass by people every day, that have PTSD. And this isn't just a military thing either. This is
First responders, anybody can have it, right?
Anybody.
And how far back does it go from the very first war?
Yeah, exactly.
We had the Civil War, World War I, II, but nobody knew what it was. They had all different kinds of names for it, but nobody really knew.
Right. Yeah, they call it shell shock.
Yeah.
Or, stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. And they didn't. And back then, people didn't get treated either. You don't talk about it. Even today, that stigma still exists. It's hard to talk about it. It's hard because if you're a police officer, you're in the military, you can lose your job.
Right.
They can take your job away from you, and that's your livelihood. So it's very difficult. It's a very difficult process for somebody usually to come out and get help. And PTSD, coincides with suicide.
Right.
Most people are suffering from PTSD, or depression. And it's a very, very real thing. I think we've all heard it, 22 a day.
Yep.
22 veterans a day, commit suicide.
Yeah,
So it's a
sad.
very, yeah. It's, we got to bring this issue out and make sure people can get help.
Why do you think it's so hard for people to talk about, say, like a mental illness in a sense? Why do you think it's so hard for people to talk about?
Well, a couple things. Pride.
Yep.
Pride is definitely a thing that gets in the way. Or it could be your career. You could lose your career.
Right.
And failure.
And failure, yeah.
You're a failure.
Yeah.
You know, you can't handle life.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and I know I was in the military as well. When I left the military, I stayed out. I almost went back in. Because, you know, when they get out of the military, people don't realize what military life is.
Right.
It's probably one of the best lives you'll ever spend in your whole life as far as dealing with people that when you get out, you get treated like you know what. That's part of it as well.
Correct. I mean, when you get out, you know, military does everything for you.
Yeah.
I mean, they tell you when to eat, sleep,
Right.
and everything else.
What to wear.
Yeah.
Underwear.
Yeah.
How to cut your hair.
Yeah. You get some cool clothes, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get out and you're just kind of like, now what?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's difficult. The transition is hard, and a lot of people who do get out have a hard time, adjusting,
Right.
and then finding success after they get out.
And they won't talk to anybody.
And they won't they won't talk to nobody
Because of that pride.
Right.
Well, the pride, and also, you know, losing your job too.
Right. And some of them don't even know they have it.
Right.
Correct.
A lot of it's undiagnosed.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't physically get diagnosed with it, you know, then next thing you know, you're living on Market Street downtown.
That's correct. That is 100% correct.
Yeah.
A lot of most of the homeless veterans,
Sure.
you know, do
Have
have
got
that.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do. I mean, it's, you know, we've been at war for 20 years. I guess we're not technically at war anymore, but, you know, you got guys that were doing 2, 3, 4 combat tours. You know, someone can get post-traumatic stress syndrome from getting, you know, mugged.
Well,
You know, they get mugged. That's 30 seconds of their life, and now we're putting guys in combat for months, multiple times. I don't know how you do that without getting PTSD.
Well, you could get PTSD, and no one talks about it, from the Vietnam War. Because when we came back from Vietnam, you didn't want anybody to know you were in a uniform because you got spit on, you got called names. I mean, you were treated like the scum of the earth. I mean, am I right?
You're 100% right.
I mean, I got out in '68. I didn't tell anybody I was in the military till the '90s.
wow.
Wow.
I wasn't going to take it, you know, and I figured, fine, I'd just keep it to myself. It was best time of my life. Straightened me out, let me tell you. But you didn't say anything because, man, you never knew who was going to unload on you. And that's another form of PTSD.
Correct. I mean, that still is in the workplace now and in the
Oh,
military. You know, most people don't go and get diagnosed with PTSD while they're in. You know, they cope with it through, you know, drugs, alcohol. You know, it's, you know, and then they get out and it even gets elevated, or I guess exaggerated, because of now they don't have all that. They don't have that, you know, support system.
None.
Or those people they're hanging around with and their friends, you know, and that's kind of like, you know, I understand the system's broken. You know, the VA system is broken.
Totally.
But you know, there's a lot of support groups out there, and some of the best things I think veterans can do, or anybody who's suffering from PTSD, is go find in a group.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like-minded people actually
Right.
help you out, I think, a lot better than some of these, you know, shrinks.
So Dustin, we can tell you're very passionate about this. So tell us, we only got a minute left. Like, what is different about your coffee company? How can people help, and where can they find your good coffee?
Online. So it's redwhiteandbadassbrew.com. You can find it on there. I am getting it into a couple different stores here coming soon. So I'll be posting that out on social media. But the coffee is my vehicle. My mission is helping veterans and first responders that do have PTSD, and also with suicide prevention.
That's awesome. That is amazing.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.